you have those moments. You're like when you see people come together, when you see people that wouldn't have met otherwise, when you see people contributing, and when you're just like, okay, this is good. Hi, my name is Asmeret Berhe-Lumax. I'm the founder of One Love Community Fridge. Okay, so One Love Community Fridge is a non-for-profit. Our mission is to connect, engage, and empower the community, and we do it through education and providing access to free, fresh, and healthy food. We started in March of 2020 during the height of the pandemic. We were here in New York and really wanted to make sure we could take action and do something that could involve friends and families. And it was during a time where we saw food pantries and food banks being overwhelmed by demand. At the same time, farms and restaurants were destroying their food. I mean, the moment I knew I had to take action was because I was volunteering with two other organizations that addresses food insecurity, and for one of them, which is an amazing organization called the Campaign Against Hunger, they also had a very non-traditional kind of 360 approach to addressing hunger and food insecurity. But even during the pandemic, they had to shut down. And what we saw was, first day I was there, we had 50 families. Second day, we had 100 families. Third day, it was 200 families. The fourth day was 400 families. And I think it's very, very different to, read the numbers around, 40 million Americans, 42 million Americans, 44 million Americans. It's very different reading those numbers and then seeing and knowing these families. And I think especially during that time, families that were coming and had to stand in line and wait for food, waiting for something that was very, very basic, something that we should all have access to, that is considered a human right. That's a human right, right? And they were risking their lives at the time to be able to have food. And at the end of the day, there is enough food for everyone. Because what we're trying to address is, and what we are addressing is the fact that, at the same time as we have 44 million Americans hungry, over 40% of all the food that's being produced in the United States is being wasted. So there's a gap there that we're trying to close. It's been amazing. So, initially it was myself and my two daughters. We actually would go and buy food every day. And we set up a fridge and we put it in the fridge. And then we'd had friends and families that would say, how can we help? What can we do? And then we also realized, as we're learning more and more in terms of what the food waste situation looks in the US, we started reaching out to food partners to help them redirect the food. So, on one hand, helping minimize any type of food waste, and then making sure that we were directed to families in need, and then just kept growing. So now we have 8 fridges of our own that we set up, and we have another 32 fridges that have been set up by other organization, individual, or mutual aid groups, and we help support them through food partnerships and driving volunteers. I was born in Asmara in East Africa, Eritrea. And then because of the war, we had to leave, and I grew up in Stockholm, Sweden. And now I've been here for 25 years. I've been in New York for 25 years. I think every aspect of it, you think about food. Food is something we all need. Food is also the foundation of our health. Even for myself, before One Love, a lot of my focus was around educational opportunities. And I think for me, and even when I was growing up, for our parents, education was like the greatest equalizer. I think coming here and also raising a family here and realizing that, you have to peel back even further, because even if you have opportunities to go to great schools or have scholarship programs, if you're not healthy and if you can't stay focused, you can't take advantage of those opportunities. So it basically starts with food. And I think the other thing is, even for our, like in our families, everything has always been centered around food. And no matter how little we had, we always had something that we could share with others. And I think, and that's the powerful thing with food. Like, it has the power to really bring people together across cultures, across different classes, different experiences. And but at the same time, it can also be used to divide people. And I think that's the divide that we're trying to minimize. No, I don't know. No, I haven't thought about it in that sense. I think as an immigrant, all the opportunities that I've had has come through our community, friends and families. So I think I've always looked at it as whatever I've been giving, I have a responsibility to share with somebody else. So I guess, I don't know if that's called community organizer. First of all, I just want to make sure we inspire people by showing how to take the first step. Like, I also, beyond what we actually do, I really hope that with One Love, it's like a catalyst for people to see what's possible and hopefully get even more ideas and take it even further. And I think just being visible and help share resources. But it's really about, inspiring people to remain hopeful, to show that it can be done. And I think the other one is, even if you look at what we're addressing in terms of hunger and food insecurity and, just like public health, it's such a huge problem and it's a huge global issue. But with One Love, what we're trying to do is, what we're doing is breaking it down into small actionable steps that people can take and that can incorporate in their lives, both individuals, small businesses, and also, honestly, larger businesses as well. But showing people how to take that one first step. I think for us, the first step, we launched in Seattle earlier this year, and for this year ahead, we're planning to set up in additional states. But I think the way we're building it is that there's a space for everyone. I'm very serious when I say there's literally a space for everyone, and we actually need everyone to get involved in order to really, really solve it. So for us, it's about, partnerships both in nonprofit and for-profit spaces, and with public organizations as private organizations, and making sure that we get more people involved. I mean, it's everything. This is the reality of it. We're not going to solve it by ourselves. We need everyone to get involved in order to actually have true change, long-lasting change. So we think about it all the time in terms of, we need to collaborate on all levels. And for us, it's on an individual, small business, and then on a macro level as well. And I also do think that just as humans, we are wired to be connected. And I mean, that's another aspect of One Love that we notice is the really beautiful part of it is, obviously number one is the direct impact. And I think the other part is that being able to connect so many people that might not have been connected otherwise, and how people then are learning from each other and being inspired from each other. But also how that in terms of public health and wellness, what that means when you feel connected, when you feel like you have a purpose and you're adding value to your community. And that's been amazing to see. I mean, I think on a personal, I think my mother has always been an inspiration because she's such a community leader, but also an entrepreneur. She's been able to bridge that. But I think in terms of One Love, one of my personal heroes is Linda Good-Bryant. She is an artist, and she's based in New York, and she runs an organization called Project Eats. And she's definitely an inspiration, both because of the work that she's currently doing, but also she's been doing this for 50 years and showing the importance of sustainability and longevity and she's built community in so many different ways. Okay, I'm glad you said so far, because I don't think I think there's still so much left to do. One of the most amazing things was in December, this past a few months ago, when we had our health forum. We have an annual health forum, and I know it sounds really dry to say health forum, but it was just a really beautiful moment where I felt like we are really making change. Because sometimes, I'm going to be honest with you, you have days when you're like, are we really making a difference? And then you have those moments. You're like, when you see people come together, when you see people that wouldn't have met otherwise, when you see people contributing, and when you're just like, okay, this is good. I mean, that was honestly one of the things with One Love that I spent a lot of time thinking about how we're going to build it, because even personally, I've been part of organizations where, unless you had a certain amount to donate, or you had a certain amount of time, it was difficult to participate. So, no matter if you only have $5 or if you have $50,000, or if you have 30 minutes versus if you have 10 hours a week, the idea has really been to create a space when people could participate in a way that works for them, so that it's sustainable. No, you did everything right. Now I'm joking. I haven't. I would say it's okay to go a non-traditional route. I haven't had like a linear, but I grew up in a very conservative home where, that's, you have a very linear view on what you should do in order to be, successful, happy. And I've kind of always made my own decisions, and which sounds great now, and it's always great when you look back at it, but in the moment it's hard to make those decisions. And I think I would say like it's okay to go off the path. Okay, Black History Month is for me, it's really a moment to celebrate, to honor, and I think you're really using the time to inspire as well, and remind people of not just history, but honestly like the present and what's to come as well. What do I want to be remembered for? I definitely would love to be remembered as somebody that fully inspired people to take action, or look at their life in a different way. And then I hope people remember me as making them feel good, or feel good about themselves. Oh my God. Okay, first I don't even know if okay, that's fine. I was like, I don't even know if she drinks, but I think she does. Oh my God, Michelle Obama, hands down.